If you were anything like me, you're just wondering why isn't walking and hiking the same thing? You got a home here. Welcome to the Go Show, celebrating all things outdoor playground, of the state, nation, and world that we live in, and getting up and going on the gram here. Thank you very much for playing along. Let me tell you about something I ran into over the weekend. Queen Bee and I training for Havasupai. Havasupai is a really cool spot in the Grand Canyon. A lot of cool waterfalls, beautiful stuff. But it is not easy to hike in with a 40-pound pack, and it's not easy to pack out with the same. It's something you do have to train for. They have two things that can assist you. They have donkeys, and they have helicopters. Which helicopters first come, first serve. Helicopter, if you want to get the hell out of there, if you got to wait till tomorrow if you don't make the cut. So you got to train so you don't have to use one of the two emergency ways of getting in and out of Havasupai. So why is it? And I got my little Garmin watch here that does a really good job of keeping the step count. I do a little, I walk and it tracks me wherever the hell I go with the dog. And I'm out there walking, let's put it this way, 3 to 5 miles a day. Okay? That does, I hope that doesn't sound like a lot, because it's not. But that's like 10 to 12,000 steps. So I'm doing that on like dog walks. Why in the hell is it not like hiking? Why do I go hiking with Queen Bee this weekend? And I'm like, I understand subtle changes in elevations, but I pulled a totally sneaky move this weekend that made sure that the hike was easier than it was scheduled to be. It's out here in the White Tank Mountains. We call it, it's called, what is it called? It's called Turnbuckle. It's got a lot of switchbacks, like straight up. Okay? I call it Turnbackle. Just turn back. We just name it Turnbackle. But I pulled a little bit of shadiness because I would have died. I was getting out of the truck and thinking, I don't know, chest didn't really feeling this today. I don't know if I maybe bit off a little more than I could chew. It's like 4 miles. And so we get up to the trail, and the parking lot's packed. And I'm thinking, man, there's a lot of congestion on the trail. A lot of, we got to pull Ozzy back and make sure that, their dogs don't bite this dog. And I said, hey, there's a little off trail. There's a little fork in the road that we usually go right, but apparently you could go left. So I had pretty good eyes on the entire track because you could see it's pretty flat. And I see it flat, 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 down, flat, 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 little bit up, flat, 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 back. You know what I think we should do, Queen Bee, is we should just try this. We've never gone this way. Let's go ahead and try it. Let's go see what it is. Let's go see what it is. And if we get somewhere that it's just weird or it's just not a trail anymore, we'll just turn back. It's no big deal. She bought it. Ha! Woo! And I got to hike for a few miles, flat as flat. But I tell you, it's not the same as walking. Like, I could say I'm training for Havasupai and do 8-9 miles a day on sidewalk, and it is wildly different than doing 3 miles just on a trail. And I mean, I understand that there's little flexor muscles and tendons and all of this, and yet my legs aren't the problem. It's my wind. It's my lungs. I mean, there's only so long I can say I have long COVID. There's only, I think the window of opportunity, statute of limitations is shutting, slamming on that one. But we went for a couple-mile walk with Ozzy this morning. There's nothing like hiking. Zero like hiking. But you have to put in the time. If I don't, I can feel my lungs right now, y'all. Like, I am not, and I'm not saying, but COVID did jack my lungs up. I mean, jacked my lungs up. And so I was to the point where when I was done the second time I COVID, when I was done, it was like a couple days later, I could not mow. I had to stop and lean against the wall mowing the lawn. I was that out of breath. So my lungs are kind of jacked up. But the difference between just really rolling on a sidewalk or even on grass And then getting off a trail is just day and night. I just don't understand the big reason. I know there's probably a couple of factors that kind of prove into that, but I don't know it. Well, it's harder for cardio front going uphill. You actually burn your muscles out more going downhill due to braking against gravity with each step. Brendan, you are very much correct. Thank you, Dr. Brendan. And yes. So when I'm thinking about packing in to have a supai, I got fresh legs, fresh everything. I'm good. You know, we're not, we're fresh, and even smelling fresh. Fantastic. And then dude wipes. Thank you, dude wipes. We're heading down, and it is going to. It'll definitely burn more calories, but it's not going to eat my lungs up. And eating my lungs up is what happens when we're coming back, or even walking flat, for the love of grief. And then I heard there's a rope ladder. The hell? When she said we have to rappel down to whatever falls, I'm like, huh? I can look at the waterfall from the top. That's a pretty cool angle. You know, you don't see a lot of pictures like that on the gram. You don't see a lot of people saying, you know, I'm just going to enjoy the waterfall from up here. I think it's very nice. Look at that. Well, look at how it goes down. Isn't that nice? The water comes and gravity grabs it, and they just take it on down there. You know, I promise I didn't mean that as condescending when I said Dr. Brennan. I just think it's a great point. But I mean, you get there. Face it. If I am on a trail, we come up to a waterfall, and we're at the top of said waterfall, and you got to rappel down a rope ladder. At me at 50 years old, you got to rappel down a rope ladder, and everybody's talking about gloves or you slip, and oh, don't have gloves because you can't get a good grip. What? Gloves or you slip, but don't wear gloves to get a good grip. Makes zero sense. So I would think, okay, hey guys, you know, I do this online thing. I think for my my posts and the gram, I don't think anybody's posting from the top of a waterfall. Who posts from the top of a waterfall? Might be something unique. Might go viral. You know what I mean? I mean, just give the fans what they want. Here's the top. It's just like the Jungle Cruise in Disneyland. The backside of water. Yeah, exactly what you're going to give me. Here's the top of a waterfall. I'm doing it. Okay, I got out of that now. Yeah, rope ladders. Please. Yeah. Oh yeah, and yeah. Stay at the top. I'm with you. I appreciate you guys. You got to think differently when you get old. I'm not kidding. I got out of bed the other day. And I went to I got up and I don't know what I did, got some water or something like that. And I wanted to call Queen Bee, so I went back into my bedroom and I jumped back in bed and I took the covers and went like this. And I hurt my shoulder. It's a whole different ball game. It's just now I know my limits are becoming bigger and bigger and bigger. I need to train harder. I get that. But there's no room for, I was crawling out of the tent and I hurt myself. There's no room for that down there. There's just no room for that to have a supai. And we paid a damn arm and a leg to be there. Have a supai used to be like $100, $100 something bucks. That was your permit to go down there and, you know, camp and have fun. $500. Now, I told Queen Bee, I said, you know, it's an amazing experience, and I'm cool that I'm glad we have friends that have the passes, and we paid the friends. But this will probably be my one and done. I can think of 100 things I'd rather do for $500 than hike in and out of the Grand Canyon, which I've been to several times, which I have rafted down. Like I've been there, kind of done that. Hiked in Oregon. Let's get to this. Hiked in Oregon. Your best friend took a different offshoot that was narrow with a rock face. Oh, that's what? We got to the bottom of the waterfall that way. Yeah, okay. Took a different offshoot. Yeah, that might be it. But then I'm that guy. I'm that guy that didn't just go down the road. I'm like, no. I have an excuse. I mean, a reason, a well-researched reason. I looked online and there's a shortage of pictures from the top of waterfalls. And it's something that's in need. You know, I mean, supply and demand, right? So I'm going to stay up here for the future of my business. Yeah, because I'm going to get some shots from up here. And you guys can wave, and those will be great shots. How many people are taking that shot at these waterfalls? They're down at the bottom, and there's someone at the top taking their picture. And they're, hi, no one has that. You're going to have that today. You're going to have it. Not I need to find a different route down. See, that admits that I'm old and out of shape. Because I got this now. See? That's how you're going to beat a butch. All right. We got to talk about this. I said we're going to talk about hiking. I said we're going to talk about guns. Guns are a huge, ginormous part of our outdoor world. They are with the shooting sports and clay targets and target shooting and 3-gun shoots and all these fun tournaments that are just so America and so amazing that we celebrate the Second Amendment here at the Go Show. And, well, obviously hunting is in there as well, bird hunting, big game hunting. You do so with the majority of that with a firearm. Some do with a bow. But firearms, we're dealing with, there's no common sense bow and arrow legislation coming through. This is it's out of Colorado, which absolutely bums me out. One of the most beautiful outdoor states God created is Colorado. And Colorado is absolutely out of their bleeping minds and doing anything they can to ensure that you and I, as law-abiding citizens, law-abiding Americans, with a Second Amendment that was granted to us by God in our founding documents, that we don't have the ability to do any of this. That the shooting sports go away. Because, listen, crime isn't going to go away. Gun violence isn't going to go away. The shooting sports are going to go away. Hunting's going to go away. And please understand, for every firearm that's sold, 11% of the total, let's say you buy a $1,000 gun, $110 goes to conservation. You have an 11% excise tax on top of all of that. And so all of those tens and thousands and hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars, when these states start essentially banning firearms, conservation will not be funded. You all think it's I'm being serious when I'm being sincere when I say this. You all think that, you guys think that I'm fired up about conservation. If you guys want to hear how ticked off I am that 2,500 people have been laid off from the National Park Service, I want job descriptions of each and every one of those. Because if they're the people I'm thinking of, I'm ticked. I actually have the chart. Let me just pull it up so I can at least get to exactly what it is. So the U.S. Forest Service, 3,400 in national parks, 2,000. I understand we're cutting. I get it. It's like firing everybody that runs the power to your state or the water to your state. It's like, okay, whoa. We need these people. So anyway, I'll talk about that in the next show. Colorado is almost ensuring more layoffs in the Department of Conservation because they're not going to participate in the North American model of wildlife conservation, which is funded by firearm and ammunition sales and outdoor products. Let's get to what Colorado is up to. These bozos. Let's break it down. Okay. The first step in the Colorado process of stripping you of your right to bear arms is the new eligibility card. I'm not kidding. You now have your required fingerprints, background check, and no time limit for approval. Right now, I believe it is around 72 hours that the government has to come back and say, okay, you can buy this or not. And sometimes, by the way, which is terrible, and the firearm shop owners that I know always default to no, which after 72 hours, if there's a hold, after 72 hours, the gun shop owner has the ability to say yes or no. That puts a lot of stress on the gun shop owner. Like, I got to keep the doors open, but there's a reason why this guy didn't come back as an immediate yes. I see your comments about emails. So there's a new eligibility card with no. So essentially, you have to go ask the state, may I even consider buying a firearm which is constitutionally protected? All of this, of course, is going to be challenged all the way to the Supreme Court. And that is why, and I'm going to go off on my little rant here, so just bear with me, please. Bear arms with me, please. That's why you become a member of the NRA. I don't want to hear about Wayne LaPierre. I don't want to hear about any of the crap that they pulled. Don't care. Quite literally, the NRA and NSSF, the National Shooting Sports Foundation, are the two organizations that will take this, that have the money to take this to the Supreme Court and have it squashed. That's the only, that is why you support them. You also get probably a cool free bag, like a range bag or something like that, or a jacket. You get something cool, some stickers. But support the NRA. I know people, NRA is this, that, and the other organization. Okay, fine. Got it. Yet, some of you might identify as Republicans. Some might identify as Democrats. Do you support everything your party does? No, but you still registered as one of the two. You might not agree with everything the NRA does yet. They need our support because of crap like this out of Colorado. Plain and simple. Let's go past the eligibility card. Ready for this? 4 to 12 hour-long training courses with victim awareness lessons. I'm a huge fan of training. I am a gigantic fan of training. But to have to go to a 12 one-hour courses or 4 1-hour, whatever it is, I don't care if it's 2, to be able to practice my constitutionally given right to bear arms. Okay, so we got eligibility cards, and you got to take a bunch of 1 hour long training courses. This is where, okay, I'll save that for the last. The state-run gun registry. There's going to be a statewide mandatory gun registry. Here's where I'm like, on that part, that's a nothing burger to me. That's a nothing burger. That's not going to stop kids from learning how to participate in shooting sports and get scholarships to schools and learn discipline and learn self-awareness and hard work. It's not going to infringe on that. It just doesn't. The state registry is just stupid and repetitive because we already have one, y'all. There's a reason why on the box of every single firearm I own, I tear off the sticker, has the serial number, the barcode, and all that, and I put it in my safe. They already know I have it. That way, if the firearm is stolen or lost, I can report it. Say, this gun is no longer in my possession. The registry thing I get is stupid. Historically, it's stupid. I understand. I don't support it, but it's already here. We already have it. Period. Rhonda, exactly. Thank you. Heck yeah. That's right. Used to be required to take a hunter safety course, or at least a firearm safety course. That's what the NRA was. That's what started the NRA. It started as a firearm safety program, a firearm education in schools program. That's what NRA was. And you used rifles. That's what the National Rifle Association, not the NFA, the National Firearm Association, the Rifle Association. I'm going to save this one for I can't even. By a show of hands, and that's over there on the comments. How many of you can name, besides don't kill anyone, 5 firearm laws? Not the always treat a firearm as loaded, keep your finger off the trigger until not the 4 rules, not the 4 tenets, not the 4 pillars. Can you name laws? Can you name firearm laws? Yeah, exactly. Ready for this? The last portion of the Colorado idiocy in their attempt to strip you of firearms. A 90% pass a 90% score on a firearm test about gun laws. Colorado, Brennan. Nobody can. You have to have a 90% pass rate on a test on firearm law to get your eligibility card to purchase a firearm with no time limit for response after taking your 12 one-hour courses and agreeing to a gun registry. Again, this doesn't come down to you take my gun from my cold dead hands. I'm not barking like that right now. I'm talking about the law-abiding citizens that are impacted, because criminals don't give a rat's about anything. Criminals are going to care about this. The law-abiding citizens that are impacted by it and their constitutionally given rights, their God-given constitutional rights, and the young people. No kid's going to do this because their dad wants to go shoot with them. No kid is going to do this and continue to get into the National Shooting Sports Federation, excuse me. And no kid is going to want to get into clay shooting teams and competitive 3-gun, the most fun things you could possibly do. There's no younger generation is going to want to go through this. Hell, half the generation above them won't want to do it. Gen Xers sure as hell won't put up with this. So what this does is impact the youths. And on top of that, it impacts the North American model of wildlife conservation. Because that 11% excise tax goes bye-bye. I mean, it's still there, but if nobody's buying anything, there's no funding for that program. They're called Pittman Robertson videos. I'm sorry, Pittman Robertson. Sorry, Rhonda's got a new video. I just saw that. They're called Pittman Robertson funds. And if you keep seeing garbage like this, that money's going to erode. And it'll end up as a tax on someone and something else. Colorado, you're going the way of California. Colorado and California, I think, on a race to the bottom. Then they are. They're just on a race to either their own country or to just completely destroy the Constitution of the United States of America. I'm not getting political. I guess that is kind of political right now, but I'm between the two. And it's funny too. I took my hunter safety course in California. I was a California resident. I took the California hunter safety course. Ready for this? It was in person for 2 nights, and we took a test. Never touched a firearm. I'm not kidding. My hunter safety course had a lot of questions and chapters on caliber and different types of firearms, but we never touched one. I went hunting with my friend Ron, who we discussed yesterday. He was the one that sent the email to his boss at 6:30. I took him hunting. He took 1 shot through my rifle. Actually, he went and bought a rifle. He got a Browning X-Bolt 270. His thing is beautiful. I mean, it's got a loophole scope on it. It's beautiful. And he took 1 shot and just took down a horse of a doe. This is one of the biggest does in the Midwest. You can hunt does. It was huge. It was as big as any buck I've ever seen. And I go, dude, that's pretty cool, man. Your first shot, you actually got something. He goes, no, this is the first time I've ever fired a firearm. I said, wait a second. He said, yeah, hunter safety, we didn't have to touch a firearm, and you didn't have to touch a firearm, but I know you've shot before, but this is the first time I've ever fired a bullet out of a gun. Well, Ronnie, it's all downhill from here, pal. Holy cow. Yeah, for 1 shot, 1 deer. I touched rifles in my hunter safety class. We actually fired them. Right, exactly. That's like hunter safety here. Hunter safety, you still have to have a field day, but hunter safety here primarily is online. And that's a new feature. That hunter safety course is online. But you go to your field day out of Ben Avery, right by HQ, and you get to shoot a little 22. It's kind of fun. Yeah. I'm probably going to take mine here with Queen Bee just so I have that extra point. I had that point taken away. I have no idea why I don't have a point because I did take Hunter Safety, but I didn't take Arizona Hunter Safety. So I'm going to have to do that. So I'll probably take it with Queen Bee and go shoot a little 22. How about that? Probably make some content out of it. You know me. Like top of the waterfall content. Fantastic. All right, gang. We are almost to FAFO Friday adjacency, so we'll do that tomorrow right here on the Go Show. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. Celebrating all things outdoors in this beautiful outdoor playground of the state, nation, and world that we live in.